Spaceships, spaceships, spaceships. Everybody loves spaceships. From James Bond style evil millionaires to regular folks like me, which basically means everyone. I guess it's because they represent human drive for exploration and expansion, which might not be such a good thing after all. Hello, my name is Grzegorz and welcome to Homemade Specials, where I'm trying to recreate some classic practical special effects using regular household materials. And today we're going to be building a spaceship using plastic trash, a lot of plastic trash, mostly deodorant stick, some LED lights, and then we're going to make it fly through an asteroid field using some rocks. So let's get it started. So the reason I chose this particular deodorant stick as the base of my spaceship is because it basically already looks like a spaceship. I mean, look at that nice big engine in the back, some set of windows, or maybe rather viewports, because I don't think spaceships have windows, but yeah, viewports in the front. I didn't see any other option, so let's try and get this part out. Oh yeah, I got it. And as you can see, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to clear it up. As you can see, this part here is gonna make another really nice viewport. I'm definitely gonna glue that somewhere over the ship. This will be used as an engine. Once we're at the viewports, I also want to show you this. This is basically like a cup from a dishwashing soap bottle. Oh yeah, look at that, another beautiful viewport. And I have few of those, so I'm planning to install some of those viewports on the spaceship as well. So now I'm gonna have to cut holes into the hull of my spaceship. Basically one big hole as a hatch for me to get inside and install LEDs and whatnot, and few others for the viewports. Okay, let's try a hot knife. I'm kind of worried I'm gonna ruin it. Luckily I have already like 4 or 5 of those collected, so I can always start from scratch. Now, this one may be more difficult. Okay, and once we're here, I'm also gonna cut a large hole in this plastic cup from, I guess, a juice carton or something like that. And I'm also gonna cut 2 chunks of this milk carton cup. And luckily I can use a bigger knife for this task, because it doesn't have to be so precise. Okay, let's clean those edges up a bit. Now this dish soap bottle has a very similar curvature to my spaceship. Not exactly the same, but very similar, and I hope that will be enough for my intended purposes. So I'm gonna cut out a rectangular piece of that plastic, slightly bigger than my hatch, 2 millimeters each direction, 2 maybe 3 millimeters. That should be enough. Yeah, let's make it 3. I want to be really precise with that, and you know that precision isn't really my strong side. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna turn out right, but I'll try my best. Yeah, precision. It's so hard to keep a straight line. Yeah, I hope I'll be able to even that out. Oh no, that's way too much. No. Terrible, terrible. Let's try and fix it with scissors. Sand it down. Get a perfectly straight line. Okay, let's glue it on. So once I have the super glue open, I think I can immediately use it and glue those two pieces of milk carton cup, because I need them in place just to make further measurements. Off camera, for some reason I forgot to hit record, but yeah, it seems to be working. Maybe not perfectly straight, but yeah, I hope that no one will notice the small imperfections. Now, one thing I don't like about the shape of my ship is that it gets pretty narrow here at the rear side. I think it should go wider at the end, because this is where engines are, so I'm hoping to use this part, the cap of it, to basically change the shape of the hull. I'm gonna have to cut it exactly in the middle. Again, precise work. You know how I like precise work. Now the second part will be much more difficult, because I wanna cut out a shape like this from its side. And yeah, since it's pretty hard, I'm probably gonna have to use a hot knife, and you know how that usually ends. But I know this knife won't work, so why do I even bother? Okay, it's getting in. Nice. Now I'm gonna take a second deer stick, because I have a lot of them. I'm gonna wrap a sandpaper around it. And I'm gonna try and sand it down to get a perfect shape. Time to drill some holes. This is a stressful moment for me. Nice! Perfectly round hole. A viewport for the astronauts. Small holes look pretty fine. Let's drill a bigger one. Okay, all the cutting and burning seems to be done, and that was the most stressful part. Now for the tedious part, I don't know if you noticed, but most of those caps and other elements that I'm planning to glue to the hull of the ship is completely flat, and the ship isn't. But I believe I have an easy solution for that. I'm gonna wrap a piece of sandpaper over another one of those Dio sticks, and I'm just gonna try and sand all those elements down to proper shape. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect fit. I believe I can start gluing all the main parts together. That should be easy compared to the drilling, but it still requires a bit of precision. I really want this ship to look nice. I want it to look professional. And I know I say it every time, none of my effects actually works exactly the way I imagine them to work. That's just part of the nature of the business, I suppose, or my lack of skills. But nah, if you look at the behind the scenes in all the 80s movies, and if you look at the editing of the special effect scenes, in those movies you often see that not everything went according to the plan. And they had to work with what they got. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. But I don't know, I would really like this stuff to look like Star Wars, you know. I'm probably being naive. This gluing part goes actually quite easy. One of the most pleasant part of the build, I must admit. I don't want to repeat myself, but again, the drilling was stressful. This is pure fun. I think it looks pretty nice. Time to install LEDs and see what it looks like when it lights up. Okay, slight change of plans. As you can see, I was trying to fit my LEDs into the build, and I've noticed a issue. As you can see, due to their shape, the LEDs come inside very easily when I try to push them from this side, but I don't really want to get inside from this side, as you can see. So I thought the simplest solution would be to install those engines at the very end after I paint everything. But at the same time, you may notice that the holes, wait a second, the holes that I've drilled here are completely out of place, not in the proper spot, and I don't want any light from the inside to be leaking through those holes. So I'm gonna patch them up with those two-part epoxy glue, and at the same time I'm gonna use it to kind of, how do I put it, prepare a proper spot for my engines. Sorry if you can see what I'm doing, but I can barely see it myself. It's rather tedious and difficult, but yeah, I believe I'm getting there. At the same time, I believe I can use this epoxy to fix the most glaring issues, by which I mean, as you can see, what I previously called a perfect fit turned out not to be so perfect after all. So yeah, I'm gonna try and patch the gaps between the main hull and the smaller pieces of it with the same epoxy, trying to get it only into the gaps, not to spread it all around the hull, because it's gonna look bad, and we don't want that, don't we? This part fell off rather quickly, but I don't worry about it. I'm gonna use this opportunity to add some gribblies to it. It's gonna be easier that way. Now, if you don't know what gribblies are in the miniature builders slang, I suppose, a professional lingo. Gribblies are all those little details, little parts that you glue onto the miniature at the very end to simply make it more detailed, make it look bigger usually. And yeah, I should glue them up at the end, but I believe it's gonna be easier if I just do it now. And now this is a zip tie. I'm gonna cut this end off and this as well. I'm keeping all those little pieces because I might use them later on. And now I'm thinking about wrapping it around the main engine. What do you think of that? Yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty damn awesome. I don't know if you have those smoothies or jellos and other stuff that is sold in plastic bags in your country. I don't really like the stuff, but I must admit they have really nicely shaped, how do you call this part? Bottlenecks? I don't know. I think they look cool, and I'm planning to use 2 of them on my ship. But I think they're too tall. I'm gonna cut off a piece of top here as well. Yeah, I think I want them somewhere around here. As symmetrical as I can eyeball it. These are super glue cups. I got tons of them, so I guess I can use a few. But I think I also want to cut them down first to smaller pieces. And again, I'm not using a hot knife, only a saw, because a hot knife isn't too precise, and it's actually not difficult with the saw. Do I want them up here, or do I want to leave those ugly holes? No, I think I want them up here. This ring comes from a plastic bottle. I can actually show you, because I have another one complete. Where is it? Oh yeah, something like this. I've already taken it out. Now I'm gonna cut it in half. Most of this will from now on be just me gluing more and more plastic trash onto the hull of my ship. And I'm not sure I'm gonna record all of that, because honestly I don't even know which parts I wanna put where. It's gonna be a lot of guessing on my side. But yeah, I think it's gonna be alright. I can probably stick whatever wherever I want to, and it should be cool. I want this front viewport to be my second access point, by which I mean a way to stick my fingers inside the ship. So I don't want to glue it to the hull. I think it can just sit in here like this, but I don't want it to be falling in, so I'm gonna glue 2 tiny pieces of zip tie, and that should hopefully keep it in place. I'd like to have it exactly in the middle. Let's work on the other side a bit as well, so I don't run out of gribblies on the top and then not be able to properly dribble up the bottom side. Oh, and by the way, we're in space, so there is no top and bottom really. It's just side A and side B, I suppose. I can't really say what's the scale of this ship. How big do you think it is? Like a car? Is there room for like 2 people? Or is it big like a building? Like a, I don't know, 4-story building maybe? Ooh, it's starting to look pretty fancy, huh? It has a little bit of a Yellow Submarine vibe, but yeah, maybe we will lose that effect once it's all covered in gribblies. Now this part is gonna require precision, and it stresses me out, so I know I say it very often, but wish me luck. Oh, that went like how do they call it? Beginner's luck? I just nailed it on the first attempt. Well, yeah, this one not so lucky. Now the milk cartons, milk boxes come with those necks, and they have those little parts that hold the cup. And yeah, they have a really interesting shape, and I have a lot of them, so I think I'm gonna use a lot of them as soon as I get them out. Yeah, there you go. And maybe a bigger one right next to it. I don't know, does that even make any sense? So those rings come from various bottles with water, or soft drinks or whatever, and if you cut them open and look inside, they always have some interesting textures in there. So I'm gonna use parts of that as well. Now, I don't know if you know those plastic trays that they sell meat and cheese and fish packed in those plastic trays. They always have like really interesting shapes at the bottom, and since they're flexible and easy to cut, I think I'm gonna use them to add some texture to my spaceship. It's really hard to work with pieces that are almost invisible. And last but surely not least, on the contrary, the most important greebly to be glued on shall be, let's call them grappling points, by which I mean tiny hooks to which I shall tie my fishing line. Or maybe I could add 2 tiny antennas over here, made out of sewing pins. No. Now we can prime. So I've primed it thoroughly, both on the outside and the inside, with black paint, and now I'm gonna try spray some silver chrome on the inside of the ship, because I want it to be as reflective as possible, basically like the insides of any lamp. Let's see. Okay, I think it did the job. Now I'm gonna use the same foam spray to spray the inside of the hatch, the engines and the front viewport. And now I'm gonna use a white spray paint to paint the ship on the outside, but not so thoroughly this time. I believe I can achieve a little bit of natural looking shading. And the same on the other side. And finally, I'm gonna paint the inside of the main engine silver. And I think I'm gonna do the same with the insides of the side engines cover, whatever you call it. Let's make it look metallic. I believe I'm gonna need to cover the windows, the viewports, to soften and disperse the light, basically like a lampshade. So I'm looking for a semi-transparent material to do that, and I'm hoping that this masking tape may just do the trick. Let's give it a try. Yeah, I think it will look just fine, right? Now the smaller ones will surely be more difficult to get right. I'm gonna try my best. Oh yeah, that looks nice. So I've managed to squeeze the big LED into the main engine, and now I think it's time to install the secondary engines. I dreaded this moment, but maybe it will work out fine. Those big LEDs require 12 volts to work, and honestly I had no idea how I'm gonna power them, but literally on my way back from the electronics store I stopped in what you would call, I guess, a dollar store, a pound shop. Yeah, we do have something like that as well. And to my surprise, I've noticed those really small 12-volt batteries there. Really cheap. So I bought the whole pack of them. And yeah, they work great. I didn't even know about the existence of such batteries before. I have no idea what they're for. But here they are, lighting up my spaceship. Let's put in the smaller LEDs that require 3 volts battery, and I decided to use this kind of battery because it's small and light. That's a plus. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we got it, more or less. Now, to build the infinite void of space, we're gonna need the couch and a chair that will hold in a position like this. Now I'm gonna cover all that with some black fabric to basically form a hole. For the final step, I'm gonna fill the inside of this hole with some torn and crumbled black crepe paper. Crepe paper, is that the proper term for it? So now, if I suspend my ship over this black void and throw a rock in there, it will disappear, as if in the darkness of space. And I believe the same can be done with glitter. Yeah. Yes! I've promised you a simple project, a short video, and I said it's gonna look awesome, and it did. I mean, did it? I think it did. I think it looks amazing. I mean, there are some issues, of course. The fishing line. I've painted it black with a matte black paint, and in some shots it's completely invisible. But then again, it's in some shots, especially the ones from the back, when it catches the light of the engines, it's terribly visible. I blurred it out, I know it's technically cheating, but I did it without complicated masking. I think it is something that would be possible back in the days on the optical printer, or even back when Georges Méliès was shooting his Journey to the Moon, was the title of the film. Now the second thing is the glitter. I mean, it looks pretty fine, but I probably should have think about some kind of better way of distributing it. I should have probably built a long and fine sieve that would form like a wall of glitter. Spreading it with hands turned out rather difficult. I mean, it was pretty much impossible to nail the proper amount. There's either too much or too little of it, but still it looks pretty badass. Now, to solve that issue, I've superimposed some stars on top and bottom of the screen. Again, kinda cheating, but still very simple, even back in the optical printer days. So, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet, and leave the comment below. Let me know if you liked this effect, let me know if you didn't like it. Maybe you have some suggestions, some improvements I could do in the future. And of course, see you next time.